Yo, what's good with everybody? I may cuss, but I don't curse. Let's get that situated first. Bars because I'm nice and all that, but we already know that now, don't we? Album dropping soon. I don't know how soon, but it's gonna drop, y'all. So what's good, everybody? I'm here to discuss the Gemini energy right now. All right, the Gemini energy. So shout out to all of the Geminis first and foremost. Also, those of you who are watching or cross watching, you're all welcome. Those of you who are watching to see how the Gemini energy possibly pertains to where it is in your chart, you're all welcome. I'm glad you could be here. Let's get to it. All right. We're going to begin with the blind spot deck and find out what is it that we are not necessarily seeing about this energy, or that you might have got a glimpse at perhaps, right? And just are not really sure. You might want to know, is your mind playing tricks on you? Or are you just being devil's advocate too much? Or are you being a skeptic? Or are you being paranoid? If you hear it and you know it, you're going to be like, oh, that's confirmation. If not, we just going to peel back the layers on the onion and find out what it is that we're just not able to see about this Gemini energy. You heard? So how is everybody doing out there? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing fantastic at this time right now. You know what I mean? Just keeping it a bean. Bars are nice. We know that, though. We know that, B. We know that. You know what I mean? So, oh, jeez. Oh, no. We're not taking any of that, I'm told. We're not taking any of that. Make my own. Okay. So, this is what's happening here. Flick of the thumb. Choose. This is what we're dealing with. Oh, it looks kind of artistic. I ain't even gonna hold you. That look kind of Basquiat. Right or wrong? What y'all see? I see like Ren and Stimpy, or one of those cartoon characters. Which one was it, Ren or Stimpy? Let me look at it though. Street. I got that top look like a ST, right? Like it's a street, like it's supposed to represent a street sign or a saint of some sort. Sort of like a clock, maybe a wheel of time. See how the bolt is like screwed on the circle down there? It's like it's a clock, like an old grandfather clock or something like that. I also see a boot, a flamingo leg. All right, it's upside down though. How about that? Still the same difference, but a little. Okay, let's bring that back. Looks a little Libran almost. I see like an Egyptian glyph, maybe something like Horus's eye at the bottom there. Number 78. If the number 78 means something to you, if it doesn't, don't force it. You know what I mean? If it don't apply, let it fly type shit. Let me get the definition so we can really get into this. All right. Number 78, number 78, number 78 for the Geminis and the Gemini energy. What we doing? What we doing? What we doing? Self-preservation, y'all. Self-preservation. Wait a minute, I'm not. I just stopped that there, right? Hold on, let me finish. Self-preservation disguised as self-sabotage. Okay, let me read it before, because that's kind of, I don't know about y'all, but that sounds kind of confusing so far. But let me elaborate. If you have drawn this sigil, you or someone in a situation, meaning the situation, y'all, whatever that is to you, is actively engaged in self-sabotage. But you and potentially they are unaware that the part of you or them that is doing the sabotaging is convinced it is preserving you or them. Unless you fully understand the perspectives and motives of this part that is doing the sabotaging with understanding and compassion, you will stay stuck relative to this situation. Here are some examples of self-sabotage, which we will develop in a moment. Procrastination, holding on to addictions, doing things that push someone away, while professing that we want a relationship to work. Self-sabotage is essentially thoughts, words, and actions, behaviors that are self-defeating. They work against you when it comes to attaining something that you want. Consciousness can and does split itself. This means that even though we call ourselves by one name and therefore identify ourselves as being one unified thing, the reality is that we are more of an amalgamation of fragmented parts or cells. We are more like a mosaic or a stained glass window. Our degree of internal suffering is about the degree of harmony or lack thereof between these eternal cells. If you are experiencing self-sabotage, it is because not all of your internal cells or parts agree with your conscious desires. One or more of them is resisting or opposing the parts that contain your conscious desires. If any of your internal parts or cells is resisting or opposing your desires, or if any of them is hurting other parts of you in any way, it is because they think it is in your best interest for them to do so. In other words, they believe they are saving your life by not going along with the plan. For this reason, you cannot say that they are against you. They just don't agree with the rest of you about how to be for you. Here are some examples. 1. We have something to do, but we procrastinate it. In this scenario, one fragment or part within us, the one we are consciously identified with, has made the decision to do something. The other part thinks that doing that thing will lead to discomfort or some kind of pain. Therefore, it is trying to prevent you from experiencing that pain by keeping you from doing it. 2. We hold on to addictions like binge eating or drinking. In this scenario, one part, the one we are consciously identified with, has decided it is committed to stop the addiction. The other part believes that the life you want is not actually possible to achieve, and so it thinks that letting go of the addiction will simply make it so you are in hell alone and now have to just sit in the agony of that misery permanently. It would rather you have the drug. 3. Consciously, we really want the relationship to work, but we keep pushing the other person away or doing and saying things to create conflict in the relationship. In this scenario, one fragment or part within us, the one we are consciously identified with, has made the decision to be in a relationship and make it work. Another part knows that relationships have been so painful in the past and that it has been abandoned, and therefore thinks abandonment is inevitable. So it is trying to save you from the pain of getting attached to something you are inevitably going to lose. I bet a lot of people are feeling number 3. 4, you consciously want a job, but you suddenly say things in the interview that make the boss check you off his list of candidates. In this scenario, one part of you has decided the best idea is to work at that job. The other part thinks that the job is not what you should be doing. That is in the opposite direction of your authentic essence. Therefore, life will be drudgery and effort if you take that job. 5, self-hate. Obviously, self-hate is the exception to the rule, right? Think again. When you discover the parts involved in self-hate, what you find is that a person internalizes their external abuser. Essentially, one part feels that by hating and punishing and therefore trying to get another part to change, it is preventing them from getting that hate, disapproval, shaming, and punishment from the outside from another person. By doing so, it is trying to get the person the love they so desperately need from the outside. If you have drawn this sigil, you are being called to remember that, metaphorically speaking, what any form of self-sabotage always has in common is that one part thinks the answer to a good life and happiness is going left, and another part thinks that going left is literally the road to ruin. But what you must see is that both parts actually have your best interests at heart. You have to understand that no part within a person is actually against them. In order to create any improvement, you need to approach the issue at hand with this understanding in order to create alignment between these opposed parts. Number 78 in this deck is actually the last card of the deck too. So that is kind of like a closing statement warranting the need not to self-sabotage. What I'm feeling in regards to that, it's pretty much everything that is said. I don't think there's much left for me to unpack subconsciously or spiritually or anything like that. I think the rest of the cards in this reading is going to do that just for us, so we can have more clarity on what the situation is. Because to me, after reading that full description, I feel like it's so vast, it's so expansive, it's so, you understand what I'm saying? It's so expansive that it can also come across as vague, although it mentioned the situation, right? And then it gives all of those different types of archetypes or definitions for what self-sabotage can look like, to where it's like, okay, well, what is the situation? We have a lot of different scenarios, but we need to know the situation. So I'm going to pull some oracle cards from the Alchemist deck, the Unknown Alchemist deck. And we're going to unpack this some more so we can get some detail into what's going on here. Let me move this. I got too much going on up there on the altar. Let me bring this back. Bring it on back. It's pretty, maybe it's just me that's resonating with number 3 bars. Fucking nice. But all of the other ones are valid too. You know what I'm saying? But if I would have to say something that resonates with me most, it would be along the lines of relationships. And I mean all types. You know what I mean? I think the pain and anguish that comes with dealing with relationships. We got blood out here. Am I correct? Yes. Blood is the first oracle card. Do with that what you will. All right. Next, we're going to do 3 oracles. Next, spirit, what else? Copper. Copper. So the very thing that we think we're saving ourselves from is the very thing that's getting in our way. Leave it up to some Gemini energy to like split the mind too, right? Duality. We're talking about Gemini energy here. And lastly, for the oracle deck, we have the despicable face. I remember what this means too. I could see how that ties into this. Let me get the, hang on, move this. Come on, out of my way, out of my way, out of my way. Pardon me, y'all. Gotta make sure this is set up right. Gotta honor the altar. Gotta honor the altar. Okay, so let's start with the blood definition. How about it? And then we'll take it from there. Blood is a material, correct? Blood is a material in alchemy. Have no fear of the blood card. It indicates a remembrance of the vital, mammalian nature of our existence. Drop by drop, this sacred elixir reminds us that we are alive, not merely thinking beings, but being beings. Okay? When blood is the prima materia in the laboratory, the alchemist uses the physical body as the starting point, building a relationship to the container that houses the spirit. Through the limbs, the organs, the cells, we witness the miracle of life, one heartbeat at a time. Eventually, the alchemist naturally partakes in practices that support and nourish blood's life-giving nature. We learn to honor and protect it. In alchemy, red is the color of vitality and radiance. With this card, you've dropped into the vital realm. Sing the body's praises. The pulse, physicality, the body. Go deeper. Listen to the song Blood Bank by Bon Iver. Any of y'all familiar with that? The presence of the pulse. So this is saying to silence yourself and listen to the heartbeat of your body. Listen to the pulse of your body so that you can honor it, right? And start is telling me also to start with self. So we're talking about self-preservation, mask that self-sabotage. So I'm feeling like already it has something to deal with being able to be quiet enough to hear oneself, to meditate so that you can determine which thoughts are yours and not confuse yourself. I think it got more to do with silencing a lot of your thoughts too and just being, right? It says being, just being beings. Being beings. Let me read the next definition and then we're going to bring it full circle. So copper. Copper is also a material in alchemy, so I should be right along. In ancient times, on an island called Cyprus, copper was mined extensively to make vessels and tools. This island is the same fertile ground of Aphrodite, the goddess associated with the planet Venus and the forces of love, pressure, and fertility, such as the magic of copper. The golden-hued metal elicits delight and mystique, even a sense of awe. The copper card marks the arrival of Eros into the laboratory. It is likely the alchemist has been hard at work for too long, prioritizing scholarly pursuits over sensual pleasure. Get ready for a shift of priorities, for an awakening of the heart and the life-generating centers of the body. In the true alchemical experiment, nothing is excluded or separate from the work. Bring sensuality into the fold and embrace it with reverence and curiosity. Aphrodite smiles upon you. See, now this story is building, because it's saying you gotta pretty much embrace and accept everything as an amalgamation. Everything is together. Nothing is excluded or separate from the work, right? So when we talk about initially with the 78 card of things being separated, or this part of your mind saying that it has to do without that part of the mind, or this thing has to do without that, is actually part of the sabotage. This is bringing it in, saying, look, we need to bring this together because it's about the work. Oh yeah, I'm understanding what this is fully about. Oh, I can't wait to break the rest of this down. All right, so the despicable face we have here, right? Is that a mystery in alchemy? Let me make sure. Right, that's a mystery in alchemy, the despicable face. I recall what this is too, but I'm gonna get the book's definition anyway. Now, the despicable sound like Daffy Duck out this bitch, right? The despicable face is never seen. Rather, it is kept in hiding to save outward appearances. This card appears when something below the surface wants to be witnessed in order to be transformed. Everything has their own version of the despicable face and their own reasons for assuming it is an abomination. It could be a buried resentment, an insecurity, or a physical characteristic that holds us back from expressing our true self. Remarkably, one revealed it is not despicable at all. It is human. It is interesting. What once was thought of as an error becomes an asset on our journey of alchemical transformation. This card connects us to others and to humanity as a whole. Through acceptance, we lift the veil of perfection and reclaim our energy. Honesty and acceptance are the balm that heals the most tender of wounds. All right. What is hidden, unaccepted, shamed? What's the movie Edward Scissorhands? I was about to bring that movie up last night when we did our live too, as one of my favorites, and I hope that they don't remake that either. But I might change my tune. If they remake Edward Scissorhands, I might actually be interested in that. I enjoyed that movie. Acceptance as enlightenment is something to ponder on. So look, I can unpack this. Like I definitely feel and sense and see what's going on here. We are, a lot of us, or people that are dealing with the Gemini energy. Geez, I just dropped the whole deck. A lot of us that are dealing with the Gemini energy. We can't hear me now. But a lot of us that are dealing with the Gemini energy are facing duality. All right, we're having this fragmented mental space that's going on right now, to where we're trying to decide and ponder what we're going to do and what we're not going to do, based upon our history, our memories. We don't want to experience certain things again. And I feel deeply that a lot of this has to deal with relationships at this moment. But what I'm also picking up on is that if you feel like you're doing too much in a situation, and let's say you put yourself out there, let's talk about relationships rather quickly and get this part out of the way. If you feel like you've done too much in a relationship, but you are able to measure which causes you pain and which doesn't, are you putting yourself out there? Is that what causes you the pain, or not putting yourself out there? You understand what I'm saying? And carry that same analogy that derives from relationships. And I'm saying relationships because it's probably the most common thing, not just with me, but with other people as well, out of all of the scenarios that were presented. You know what I mean? And this was going to carry that sentiment along with every other area in your life. It's putting yourself out there in your career, Are you afraid that someone is going to comment something in your comment section that's negative? Or are you more afraid of not putting yourself out there and not experiencing it at all? And then now you're stuck with your thoughts like, man, I really wish I could start a TikTok, or I really wish I could. You understand what I'm saying? What causes you more pain? What has caused you more pain? Or what has caused you pain and which hasn't? You know what I mean? Because we don't want to trick ourselves into believing that that we're safe, because we're safe and we felt no pain at all, that it's the correct thing to do. Because we think that we're saving ourselves, self-preservation, right? When in all actuality, that risk should be taken so we can learn the other side of it. Like, yeah, I might say some shit and then somebody's going to say something back. And then it's just like, yeah, that might be painful, but it's part of the program. It's all part of it. It's all part of it. So we must come to the terms of realizing that, what is actually causing the pain? What has actually historically caused the pain? And have we survived it? But did you live? You understand what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, get over it. Get over yourself, really. Get over yourself. Those of y'all who are not putting on that, I'm hearing, put on that bathing suit. Those of y'all who are not putting on that bathing suit, like, knock it off. I'm hearing, put it on. You don't want to do it because of something. You know what I mean? Maybe you had a wardrobe malfunction or something before and you won't ever do it again. Or it's always one pieces now, not ever a two piece. Same thing go with the fellas. Same thing go with y'all dudes. Y'all said something, or you wore something to a party or an event. You like, yo, I'll never wear neon green again. They clowned the shit out of me. They called me Slimer from Ghostbusters. And it's just like, yo, you just seen some fire lime green shit in the store that caught your eye again. Go buy that shit. Because bet one thing, they remember your ass, right? It's kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the despicable face part is what I'm talking about. Because look, what I'm hearing is this. This is what's screaming loudly to me. When it comes to the work, because I feel like a lot of us are putting too much emphasis on the relationship factor and how you might have falling outs and this, that, and the third, and the pain that's associated with that. What I'm being told to tell you is it's more about the work. When you're doing the work, that's when the relationships unfold to the point where you need them. Some of y'all are trying to be like dedicated and loyal to one segment, one fragment of your life, when that's not the deal here. That's the saying, as the saying goes, we are fragments of ourselves. We got to grab all of those pieces and assemble them. And the best way to do so is by doing the work. If we just center ourselves on one fragment, we're going to be missing out on the other things. And some of us are focusing on that one fragment because it feels safe. It feels secure. You're not being hurt there, but you're actually not trying in other areas either. That wound been healed. Like, just think about it like this. The body, right? Blood. We're talking about blood. When you get a cut, the blood actually heals the rest of the body. Like, it seals the body back up. It's amazing when you think about it. It's fucking magical, B. So again, did you live? You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying be a daredevil. I'm saying live your life. Maybe some of us associate living their life with being a daredevil. I'm not going to tell you how to think or how to word things, but you get what I'm saying here, right? Let's pull some tarot to get more in-depth detail of what this is going on. Now, if I pull some cards that basically says what I just said, then you know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Spirit, but continue to guide us. I don't want to be spiritually arrogant. You know what I mean? As if I know everything. I'm just channeling. Maybe I'm wrong. There's a possibility. But I know exactly how to decipher what's been put out here already. I can tell you that for sure. But again, if this reading does not resonate, if it don't apply, let it fly. Spirit, give us some more guidance with this tarot deck to get more in-depth clarity about the situation. Because again, we want to know what the situation is. The Oracle provided this, I would say, not the surface, but the subject, or even the objective, really. Boom. We got the Two of Wands. Got it flipped out in reverse though. Looks like some plans are being put on hold. But why? Probably too much caught up in thoughts for the plan to transpire. It's too much thinking. Act, be in the moment. We are being beings. We got the Four of Pentacles also in reverse. Okay, I see what's going on here. I see what's going on here. It's some unorthodox shit too, but it is what it is. What else, Spirit? What do we have here? The Five of Pentacles. What else, Spirit? What's this? The Knight of Wands. I'm told to pause it there. Okay, I see exactly what's going on here. Okay, so this is the situation. It all pertains to work, this situation. It's about lifestyle. I see elements of the more recurring theme in my latest readings. Aries North Node, Libra South Node. Beginning there with the Two of Wands in reverse. Dealing with the partnerships and, you know, influential beings. I feel like a lot of us are connected to people who are like-minded and share the same type of ideologies, and also are influential people, becoming influential people. I feel like more people are trying to even become community-based. Another recurrent theme in some of our recent interactions are astrocartography charts. So I feel like some of the planning is based around that as well. However, too soon. In this spread out here, it's saying it's too soon. And you don't want to run the risk of ruining it because you're being too quick. And it's just limited as that. It's not all of these other things. If it's anything excessive from that, again, it's your mind, it's your thoughts, it's your fears playing on you. It's just moving too quick. When someone asked me last night in the live, if I'm reaching out to a Pisces man, what should I do or how should I do it? I said, or should I just wait for the transit, the node transit to blow over? I said, yo, look, if you're going to reach out, be brief, be cute, you know, keep it short, simple, cute, to the point. You know what I mean? I was just like, yo, don't do too much. So, you know, not to say that you have to disregard the relationship entirely because of that node transit, but don't do too much, because anything that's excessive at that point is kind of like communicating that you have a fear that you're losing the relationship. And that would be a figment of the imagination, and that would also be self-sabotaging, right? But we also got to keep in mind, if it's causing you pain, if it's painful to be like, yo, not saying something to that person, reach out. Because why do that? You know what I'm saying? And it's cool to be able to be honest and be like, yo, I'm just reaching out because whatever. I just want to let you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm distant or less communicative, I'm not cutting you off. You understand what I'm saying? Have the conversation, even if it feels weird or awkward or whatever the case may be, you know? But, you know, do some in and out, because, yo, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you feel something intuitively, and sometimes it's like that. You could pick up on another person's thoughts or another person's feelings, and it's just like, yo, I'm just reaching out to confirm, you know, I'm still around, or I still fucks with you. You know what I'm saying? Or how you doing? Regular shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not being phony. It's not being corny. If it's causing you pain to not do it, and you like, oh, I'm doing this to preserve myself, I don't want to be hurt by that person, I don't want to, then you're playing yourself. You're actually self-sabotaging, if that's the case. You understand what I'm saying? Now, this Four of Pentacles in reverse also is the work that's being done. Some of y'all are under the impression that it takes more to do what it is that you need to be done, and I'm being showed that that's bullshit. You actually should deal with the struggle and the hardships that come with the Five of Pentacles. What do I mean by that? Some of us, we got it, right? Meaning monetarily wise. However, when we got it monetarily wise, some of us squander it, or we carry this attitude that, oh, it's okay, I could spend this, I could spend that. You start actually thinking about things that you can spend on to make your project, to make your work better. When in all actuality, I'm being showed and told to tell y'all that don't imagine you don't have it. I almost said that. But challenge yourself to start with I just got a term for this too. It's fleeing my mind right now. But let me just explain it in layman's terms. Look at it as like almost a competition or a contest. We was also talking about this in the live of how I bet that the newer writers and producers and directors of movies are going to start showing their asses when it comes to producing films, when it comes to the budgets. They're going to because the Joker sequel came out or is coming out, and pause. And, the first film, it was low budget. And he made $1 billion off of it. And this dude is known for comedic movies. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm hearing that approach is what approach you should be taking in the workplace, whether you have it or not. If you don't have it, then this is definitely, you should be enthused and inspired by what I'm saying right now. If you do got it, really think and hold your horses for a minute and say, yo, what if I don't need that? Or what if I could use another alternative that got a free trial, right? Like maybe I could use a free trial. If I do this in 30 days, I could use the free trial and I don't got to pay for it. So what if you got it? You understand what I'm saying? This is a test to yourself, a testament to yourself, because I'm also feeling and hearing like the same way that you feel free-spirited and free-flowing about expenditures when doing the work is the same thing that can cause you pain, because it's causing you to be possibly indifferent with the way that other people do things. It's causing you to have things can only be done in one type of way, type of ideology as well. And if you ever fall short of anything else in the area of your life, what you're avoiding is looking at this area of your life where you would be otherwise spending on things that don't necessarily need to be spent on. So it's kind of like a reflection of, well, you put your eggs in that basket, but you're not going to put your eggs in that basket. You understand what I'm saying? The amalgamation, nothing gets separated, it's all together. That's what this lesson is about. So why are you not spreading out the eggs in the baskets? You understand what I'm saying? It's okay to test yourself and say, oh, I could do it. Let me see how well I do without this. It's not saying you don't have. It's not a lack mentality. It's let me see how much I can do with this that's right here. We're being beings, as the saying says. We're being beings. So what is going to make me feel most fully in control in this moment right now? And that is going to derive from intuition and flow. All right. Because if let's say you're in the flow of doing something intuitively right now, right? I'll give you an example. Someone sent me some information on how to utilize some software to, assist in my creation. Right. And I thanked them for it. And I still do. I'm thankful for the information that they sent me. At the same time, it costs money. Right. No big deal. I can get it. And I could even run a trial and I can get it. However, I know me, I might let that trial run up and then turn into a new payment. You understand what I'm saying? So because I know myself so well and I've been through this numerous amounts of time, I said, well, let me look to research if there is an alternative to the same exact thing that this person's putting me onto. But is there a free version? You understand what I'm saying? Not because I don't got it, because I do got it to pay it. But that's not the point. You know what I'm saying? I want to use my intuition and say, because sometimes people can offer you a product that costs, and there's an alternative to it that might cost less or maybe it's free, and they offer you more. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not the mentality of lack or, I'm penny pinching or something like that. It's like, no, search around, because people could be trying to dupe you. I seen something else. I'm gonna bring this up as an example too. And a Gemini actually posted this. They was like, oh, this is the next business that I'm going into, which pertains to the backdrops for people's celebrations, primarily birthday celebrations, because they seen some real cheesy mock-up version of what it is that they're selling, which is a backdrop with some balloons and like another thing to, you know, celebrate a kid's birthday at a party. You know how the parties go with the balloons over here, balloons on that side. They got the arc, the flowers or the ribbons wrapped around it, that type of shit, right? They came across somebody who was selling it for buku bread. And they're like, yo, I spent $35 on my son party and my shit was lit. My son shit was lit. They showed the picture of their son shit, and I agree. Their son shit was lit. And they pulled up the receipts, screenshots of the receipts. You see, this costs that, this costs that, this costs that. So why are they charging that much for that bullshit? The shit was uneven. You know what I'm saying? It was just like tossed up. It was like a little post on a wall. It was cheesy. I'm keeping it a bean. They really made sense. And I was just like, yeah, price difference, I would say about 75% price difference. That's wild, nasty work. This is the point that I'm making, y'all. Shop around. Be more qualitative. Don't be so quantitative or quick, right? Because the Two of Wands is in reverse. Quick. I was talking about don't rush these relationships. Don't rush these transactions. Don't rush these interactions. This Knight of Wands is saying to be intuitive and going with the flow with the things that you're inspired by and the things that you consciously desire. You still consciously desire the same things, but the way that you're going about them is interpreting something else, because it's coming from the past pains. It's coming from the past hurts. And it could be subconscious. Some of y'all have forgotten about some of these things, but you still carry traces of them in your interactions and your actions daily. All right? I'm not going to pull nothing from the messy deck. I'm not going to ask for any advice. The advice has been given. It's out here. This reading does not need anything more put onto it. You know what to do now. For those of you that this resonated with from the beginning, I feel like it resonated with you all the way to the end. That's what it is. It is what it is. Get in the comment section if this pertains to you in some type of way. Maybe you've gotten some clarity, or whatever the case may be. Hope this helps someone out there. Till next time, I'm out.